What's up, Brian Tong here, back from vacation and back for your weekly dose of the Apple Byte. And first, I would like to thank Nosha Tongas for holding down the fort last week. Although newcomers to the show probably thought I was on acid, which I was not. So let's get to the Apple versus the FBI situation. It's big and gets more complicated by the week. According to the New York Times, Apple engineers have already begun developing new security measures that would make it impossible for the government or even Apple to break into a locked iPhone. If Apple succeeds in doing this, it would make it even more significantly challenging for law enforcement agencies to crack into the iPhone. Now, it all started with the FBi's court order for Apple to build a backdoor into iOS so they could gain access to data that was locked on the iPhone from one of the now deceased San Bernardino terrorists. They basically want their own FBiOS. Clever, huh? Now, Apple said no. Tim Cook said it would be a major setback to online privacy and a dangerous precedent. I'm on board with Tim and Apple, and the tech world like Google, Twitter, and Facebook agrees. So, how did this come about? It's been confirmed by BuzzFeed that government officials actually reset the iCloud account password to the terrorist's phone once it was in their possession. Apple said this prevented an auto backup on iCloud that could have potentially given them more information. But of course, it doesn't stop there. In addition to the San Bernardino phone, the Wall Street Journal reports the Justice Department is pursuing court orders to make Apple help them extract data from about 12 other phones. So where are we now as of this show? Well, the deadline for Apple to respond to the court order will be Friday, February the 26th, and Apple is expected to argue that its fight with the FBI should be settled by Congress. It's Apple versus the FBI, national security versus user privacy on the surface, but it has really far more reaching implications that could go as far as weakening data encryption overall, which makes this a fascinating and important case. Now, in a recent survey conducted by the Pew Research Center, it found that 51% of its respondents sided with the Justice Department to unlock the iPhone, versus 38% who said Apple should not unlock it, while 11% are still twiddling their thumbs and said they don't know. I conducted my own survey on Twitter, and with nearly 1,000 respondents, 85% of you all said Apple should not build a backdoor in iOS, while 15% of you said yes. Now, I honestly see many sides of the argument, so where do you all stand? This is a real chance to have some great dialogue between us, so I'd love to hear what you think and why. And we'll get a few of Apple Byte Nation's responses next week, which might result in you winning an Apple Byte sticker. Totally worth it. So email us at theapplebyte@cnet.com or tweet me at Brian Tong if you can fit it in 140 characters. All right, in other news, 9 to 5 Mac reports that Siri is finally set to make its way to the Mac in OS X, 10.12, and will be part of its yearly update this fall. The report says Apple has been testing versions of it internally since 2012. It started on the iPhone and has now graduated to the Apple Watch and the new Apple TV, with the Mac coming up next. Also, early betas of iOS 9.3 freaked out iPad Pro users after it removed the ability for the Apple Pencil to be used for navigation on the iPad Pro like a stylus. Now, reports suggested the move was intentional, but Apple confirmed to The Verge that navigation was temporarily pulled, improvements are being made, and it will return in the next beta, so you will still be able to use the Pencil like a stylus. All right, the Apple TV could be even more important to you after the FCC recently took the first big step towards completely changing the cable business. In a 2-3 vote, the FCC has decided to move forward with a proposal that would allow cable customers like us to go through third parties for the cable set-top system. So think about this. How about a Roku or Xbox One or Apple TV branded box instead of being tied to the same one that comes with your cable service? This is huge. Now, we're still months away after revisions are made to the proposal and then a final vote, but this is happening. So you all should be going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs right now.
I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs!
We could finally get an experience combining TV with apps with the same cohesive look and feel, and without a monthly subscription fee to use a box. Now, tech companies should be thrilled, but cable companies should not. Consumer choice, that's what it's all about. And the new Apple TV has 4 new universal search options on the latest 4th gen, and now works with Watch, ABC, Disney XD, Disney Channel, and my favorite, Disney Junior. iTunes, Netflix, and Hulu were a handful of the apps that supported it on launch, so it is growing. And I do need to address something from last week where I said the new Apple TV doesn't play video podcasts, and sometimes my brain is like all over the place, and my head was thinking iPad Pro not having full video screen podcasts, then somehow, I applied it to the Apple TV. So yeah, maybe I was actually on acid. And you know what? That deserves a bad apple. I'm sorry, okay? All right, that's going to do it for this week's show. Remember to email us at theapplebyte@cnet.com or tweet me at Brian Tong. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you all next time for another Bite of the Apple.